first year, and we will get it done, is single-day voting on elections.
So I'll tell you a word about myself and our family and why we're in this. God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family isn't a bad word. It's the greatest form of governance known to mankind. Capitalism isn't something we should apologize for. It's what lifts us up from poverty, not crony capitalism, but the real thing.
To at least have the warrants for illegals served via local law enforcement, that's 1 million local law enforcement who are standing by and ready to do it. If you have a president that doesn't...
And so you're asking about the next step of this reporting into me either. 8-year term limits for the bureaucracy.
What happened there? They'll blame Trump, they'll blame abortion. No, there's something deeper going on. It's
Now we stand for we the people in this country rather than that federal bureaucracy.
one thing I will deliver to you, my top legislative objective in my first year, and we will get it done, is single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday with paper ballots, government-issued voter ID to match the voter file, and yes, English as the sole language that appears on a ballot. That's not controversial, that's common sense, and that's what we will restore in this country.
Rule of thumb, if it happens right here, as long as it's not cynical, paid-for people, but actual...
The only person to tell you that I will pardon on day one every peaceful January 6th protester, because that's the right thing to do for this country.
We believe in the ideals of 1776. Of ideals. And here's how we're going to get it back. It's going to be by all of us. This country and what we stand for. A war between those of us who believe we the people create a government accountable to us. Start in the lab and you're censored if you said it, before we now know that it did. But the Hunter Biden laptop.
I voted for Trump last time. I just don't think they're going to let him win. And honestly, what I would love to see is, I would love to see Trump as president again, and I would love to see Vivek as vice president. That would be a great run for me. I would thoroughly enjoy that. I think the problem with that is, I don't think they're going to let Trump win, and that's just going to be automatic 4 years of more chaos.
What do you think if they won't hold themselves responsible, that we hold them responsible?
By sympathy with the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you.
Me and him, if you go down the line of all of the little pieces that people get so hung up on nowadays, you know, his education, his race, his religion, all of the things that makes him an individual, right? When you start adding those up, me and him are very different. What makes me and him very much the same is I'm an American, just like he's an American.
I hope something then happens. I hope members of the media, at least one. So if there's one thing I get done as your next president, one war that I promise you I will wage and that we will win. It's not some pointless foreign war abroad. It is the war on our own shadow government right here at home in the United States of America. Let's get...
This notion that he's running for vice president, I would rather see Trump be the vice president than Vivek. And I think Vivek has a stronger handle on the law and the Constitution than President Trump ever did. I like the fact that he's not been beat up by the press and the Democratic Party to the extent that he has been. So I would really rather see him as the number one in the candidacy rather than the number two. So.
Thank you.